We really boxing. Who wanted the battles? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, shit, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef, I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing back with another video, man. We back We back, man. Salute to everybody, man. We back. It's your boy BBO Boxing, man. The king of the YTBC, man. You know I'm back, man. So we got a lot to talk about today. Got our first comment. Says DGO0082. He said, first is Hagler, genius. And heck no, Hagler was no FB drunk like Spence. Crawford is more like Hagler. He is very disciplined and also a switch hitter. If that wasn't the dumbest comment I ever heard in my life, man. I mean, that was stupid. You could have kept that to yourself. And for that, we snatching your chain, punk. Give me your chain, punk. You sound crazy, man. You sound crazy, man. Shoot. Salute to my man Lanier. He said, yes, similar in size, style to Hagler. But you know what? We got to be honest here. If you look at Errol Spence, you look at the marvelous Marvin Hagler, man, they're a lot alike. They both are accumulation punchers. They're not going to knock you out with one hit. And their goal is to beat you. They're going to both beat you. They're going to beat you to death. And they're going to really do everything they can to slowly, methodically stop you. So that's the thing. When I say that, when you get in there with a guy like Bud Crawford, man, you got to be on your A game. I don't know why people making a big deal about his switch hitting. At the end of the day, there's no way his left hand is better than a natural left-hander. At the end of the day, if you think about it, that's something that Bud did when he broke his right hand. He learned how to switch it. But I think he does well with lesser fighters and does that because they can't adjust to that. But if you put him in there with a guy like an Errol Spence, which he hasn't been there anybody like that. Sean Porter was not like that. You got Sean Porter out there saying, hey, if you want to beat Errol Spence, you got to go to his body. At the end of the day, it's easier said than done. When someone's coming downhill on you, brother, it's not easy, man. That's the whole thing about the Mexican style, the pressure fighter. That's one of the styles your boy BBO loves. I love a pressure fighter because if you coming downhill and you about to come in there to stop a guy, it's going to exhaust you. All that pressure is going to exhaust you. It's not easy just to sit there and take that. You're going to get exhausted over time. You're human. I don't care who you are. You're a human being. You're going to get tired. Look at Devin Haney when he fought Lomachenko. When Lomachenko's putting all that pressure on Devin, it looked like in the 11th round, he's about to stop him. He's about to get him out of there. So let's not play games like we don't see the same things, man. That pressure style is the Achilles heel for any slick fighter. Salute to my man Lanier. What he say? To me, he's a mix of Marvin and Terry Norris and Mike McCullough. And it's a LOS, a mix of all them cats. Gerald McLean. I'll say this. Really, Errol Spence is your classic. I don't know. Best way I could put it, Errol Spence is really just your classic pressure fighter. He's coming forward. He's coming to stop you. He's coming to get you out of there. That's what he does. And I think that's what he mastered. At the end of the day, yeah, he don't got all the tricks and all the things that you can see with a guy like a Bud Crawford who's naturally more athletic. It's always that way. You look at Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. was more athletic than James Toney. But I think, even though Roy beat him, I think James Toney one of the best fighters I've ever seen. Because just the way he methodically would take you out of there, his defense, his punching, his showmanship, hey, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough because I'm telling you what, man, Bud Crawford is a lot like Hearns, man. He's big, he's long, pause. He got long arms. He can really fight. He's great at distance. And I'm telling you, it's been a long, long time, probably since a guy bought the fight to him. So my man Marlon said, especially a big pressure fighter, Spence is a boxer, puncher, pressure fighter. I wouldn't say he's a puncher. I think it's a lot like the marvelous one where he's going to come downhill and over time he's going to break you down with his punches. But is he a puncher? I don't know. I don't think he has like one punch knockout power. I think he can get you out of there over time, really just out of exhausting you. That's what his real special skill is. But I'm telling you, when we look at this fight, this is really a 50, it's really a 60-40 fight. I think at the end of the day, I would give the advantage to Bud. Don't get me wrong. I do have Errol winning, but I would give the natural advantage to a guy like a Bud Crawford because let's be honest here, Bud Crawford has done everything in the sport. He's been on the pound for pound list since back when Floyd, Andre Ward, the great Manny Pacquiao was on there. He's been on the list for a long, long time. And honestly, as those guys left the list, he's been able to elevate and do more in his career. I mean, he still beat Gamboa, who was a 3-division champion. He still did beat Victor Postal, who was considered a monster. He was considered a monster. Now, you want to say Julius Ndungu? Yeah, he wasn't the best guy in the world, but man, this is Spence's opportunity to show the world that he's the goods. This is his opportunity to show the world that he's Sugar Ray Leonard and not Tommy Hearns. One of these guys is going to be Tommy Hearns, and one of these guys is going to be Sugar Ray Leonard. And I think Floyd Mayweather, who has said it numerous times, that he idolizes the great Sugar Ray Leonard. And if you want to be Sugar Ray Leonard, this is the opportunity, man. This is your chance to step up and fight the best guy in the world. In my opinion, I won't say he's not number one. My pound for pound list, I got Jamel Charlo, and I got, of course, the monster Inoue Inoue number 2. So it's going to be, I think this is an opportunity. This could be a showcase fight. And when I say a showcase, not in the fact that it's not going to be a lot of competition, I mean showcasing the fact that this will give you the opportunity to see what Errol really, really has. Is Errol Spence the goods? Is Errol Spence everything that we've ever thought he was? I was talking to a brother about this, OG Sheldon. Sheldon said something that I never thought about. I've never seen Errol Spence have to make adjustments. And I guarantee you this. You get in the ring with a mind like Bud Crawford, that's the thing. People are sleeping on that mind. The thing that makes Bud Crawford so scary in the ring is his IQ. The man's IQ is off the charts, man. He's almost like, to me, now if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan like me, he's like Piccolo and Kami all together, where he knows what's going to happen, and he can sometimes make it happen right from his hands. So that's a dangerous thing. When somebody can think it and do it, that's a scary thing. My man said boxer puncher is a style. I get what you're saying about it being a style. I'm just more or less saying I never would say Errol is a guy who's a puncher. I think a guy like Tank Davis is a boxer puncher. That's somebody who's a boxer puncher. Somebody who can steal. Terrence Crawford is a boxer puncher. A guy who can get you out of there and still box. But like you said, Marlon, that pressure coming to Bud, that is going to be the true key to find out what do we have in this guy. At the end of the day, you can say a lot of things about Errol Spence. People love to bring up how he got in trouble for drinking. He flipped his car over. And you know what's honest? One thing no one ever asks is, why was Errol Spence driving so fast? Who was he running from? I always ask that question because you don't get in a car doing 150 miles an hour if somebody's not chasing you. Who was chasing that guy? And where was he going? I always wondered that, but that's for another day. I'll say this. When it comes to this fight, this is Errol Spence's opportunity to show the world what kind of fighter he is, and is he everything we thought he was? Because let's be honest, Errol Spence has pretty much lived up to everything we thought he would be. Now we actually getting a chance to see him against somebody who may be his equal, and we're going to see what happens. And I can't wait to see it. He said, plus pressure. He said, Manny did the same thing, just beat you down. That's an absolute fact. It's like when you got guys like that who can bring the pressure and have the talent, it almost reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys ever played basketball and you play that white guy who doesn't have the most talent, but he's just playing so hard. He playing so hard that you like, this dude. I honestly say that. That boy, Errol Spence, is that workhorse, that dog who just comes in playing so hard, ready to win. And I think it's going to be tough, man. He said you wouldn't drive a Ferrari fast. That's why you get that car to open it up. Hey, Marlon, all I can say is this, my brother. Where was he running from? Who was he running from? We never asked that question. We just say, yeah, he had a Ferrari, he opened it up. Okay, I'm sure. But he's downtown. I wonder, was he being chased? I always wondered that. I'm just putting that out there. That's just a nugget. That's BBO. You ain't gotta agree with me on that. That's just me putting a nugget out there. I'm wondering why this kid was running like that. I wonder what was going on. What happened? But I say this, back to this fight. This fight is going to be terrific, man. These are two young guys in their prime, ready to make it happen, ready to put it all on the line. And I'm telling you, too many times in boxing, we have not got that. You know, I love how people love to talk about Teofimo Lopez, the great Teofimo Lopez. Let's remember the two-time lineal world champion, Teofimo Lopez. Lineal champion at lightweight, lineal champion at super lightweight. I mean, you just got to get a guy his credit. But if Tank fought those same fights that Teo did, they would be giving Teo all the credit in the world. They'd be giving me all the credit in the world, man. And it's just like my man said. Y'all run around here thinking like Tank then pretty much fought a bunch of Hasbullas, man. He ain't really fought nobody. He ain't fought no monster like a Josh Taylor who dominated the 140-pound division. You don't become undisputed unless you dominate the division. And you might get lucky, and it never really happens like this. You got the Devin Haney where he became undisputed champion and really didn't have to fight any real opposition because Teofimo couldn't make the weight, Mesoesophagus up, so he ended up losing to George Kambosos. And you know what? Unlike most, I'm gonna give George Kambosos credit because George Kambosos is a very tough, gritty fighter who won a lot of split decisions, had a lot of split decision wins, and was able to secure his chance at the title. And on top of that, he just always worked his butt off. He didn't have the most talent, and everybody's not gonna have the most talent. But I got to give a guy major credit when a guy is willing to put it on the line and do what he got to do to make it happen. And I'm telling you, man, it's your boy BBO. I don't blow no smoke. I'm telling you, man, you got to give these guys their credit, man. At the end of the day, I know we all heard about Tyson Fury fight Francis Ngannou. It's a travesty. It's one of the worst things I ever heard in my life. Like Fat Joe said, it's the worst thing I heard in my life, man. The fact that Tyson Fury can hold on to that WBC belt and not be stripped. The fact that Jermell Charlo, Big Charlo, can hold on to that belt and not be stripped. What is Mauricio Sulaiman doing? I don't get it. I don't get it. If you don't strip both them dudes and let the belts keep going, come on, man. It just, to me, man, I'm telling you, that's the problem with boxing, man. Nobody wants to call out what they see. We seeing some of the most garbage things we ever seen in boxing. Okay, for those who say, yeah, Ali took exhibitions, Ali fought exhibitions. Yes, he did. It was a different time, and Ali never did that when he had a tough, young, hungry champion to unify with. He never did that. He never did that. Ali always stepped to the best guy. Ali stepped to Joe Frazier. He lost the first one. He stepped to George Foreman after George Foreman obliterated Joe Frazier. So, I mean, and on top of that, not only did he beat Joe Frazier, remember that George Foreman beat Eddie Futch. When you beat an Eddie Futch fighter, dude, that in itself deserves a trophy. Eddie Futch might be probably, arguably, the best trainer there ever was in boxing. I kind of favor Angelo Dundee because you get Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard coming from that lineage. So I kind of favor Angelo Dundee, but it would be a tie for me between Angelo Dundee and the great Cus D'Amato. Cus D'Amato, one of the guys who trained the great Floyd Patterson. I don't know if you guys remember him. That's the guy that Muhammad Ali fought. Floyd Patterson was a terrific fighter, man. Cus D'Amato changed the game. We all of us younger people know Cus D'Amato from training Mike Tyson, our Mike Tyson. But I'm telling you, man, too many times in boxing, man, we not getting guys taking the tough fights. If you want to see the best fight the best, you're going to watch fighters like Teofimo Lopez. You're going to watch people like Canelo Alvarez. You're going to do all that. You're going to watch those guys. You're going to watch those guys. Hold on, honey. You're going to watch those guys that really go out there and take opportunities and chances to make it happen. At the end of the day, man, you're not getting enough of that in boxing. As an overall sport, it's not happening enough. It's not happening enough. You keep hearing people give Tank all this credit. Why? What is Tank doing? What has Tank done to get the credit? He's done absolutely nothing. He's fought Leo Santa Cruz, and that's it. You could say he fought Pedraza, but come on, how long ago was that? That's what I mean when I say you got to give guys credit when they go out there and dare to be great. And that's what I do. I don't give people I don't take away people's accomplishments. The fact that people say Teofimo is not an undisputed champion, come on, man, he got shafted, man. We all know when he beat Richard Comey, he stepped right to Lomachenko, who was the 3-belt champion who had the WBC franchise belt as well as the WBO and the WBO, and he had the WBA belt. So he had all these belts, and he was doing what he had to do. And all Tio did was the smart thing was say, hey, you know what? Let's unify, get undisputed. But, politics played a role in that, and he didn't get his proper credit. So, hey, there's nothing you can do about that. But I'm telling you, in boxing, we got to stop trying to take away people's accomplishments, man. You got people talking about, Canelo's ducking, Canelo's doing this. Man, come on, man. Canelo's about to fight the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Jermell Charlo. I mean, come on, man. Say what you want. Yeah, Jermell fought a year and some change ago. But guess what, man? That's what happens in boxing, man. People take breaks. After that war he had with Brian Castano, he needed a break. And I think by all means, he deserved one. So you can't sit here and tell me, hey, oh, yeah, BBO, you can't say that, man. These guys, Tank's the best. Oh, this guy's the best. No, show me in the ring you the best. My people say what they want about Deontay Wilder, but guess what? When Deontay Wilder, before he got beat to death, and I honestly say this, Deontay Wilder lost 2 out of those 3 fights. I thought he won the first fight. He lost the next 2 by knockout, by brutal knockout at that. So, you can say what you want, but Deontay Wilder was counting that money like king, and he still went in there, and he still fought. He was never scared to fight. He never missed a fight. And now you got a guy like Tyson Fury who hardly ever fights, who hardly ever defends the belts, who hardly ever takes a chance, who hardly ever wants to show you that he's the best. At some point, man, you got to be willing to show people you the best. And if you're not going to do that, get out of the sport. But like I said, we're talking about Bud and Errol Spence. Man, Errol Spence, man, has got an opportunity, man, to really sketch his name on the wall with the greats, because if he's able to beat a guy like Terrence Bud Crawford is walking straight into the Hall of Fame. I guarantee you that. He's walking straight into the Hall of Fame. Say what you want. All his resumes this, his resumes that. Everything you're saying is biased, because at the end of the day, he only can fight who's in front of him. That's all he can do. He can't fight anybody who's not in front of him. So I give him a lot of credit, man. The cat stepped to who was in front of him. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. Another big fight we got coming up. We got Monster Inoue versus the great Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton, you got to give him, Cool Boy Steph, a lot of credit. You know why you got to give him credit? Because guess what? He is about to go to Japan and fight probably the number 2 best fighter in the world. But think about this. Inoue called him out. Inoue said, fight me. I want to fight. So say what you want about that stuff, man. When you want to be great, you got to go out there and you got to dare to do it. Errol Spence is doing it. We seen Keith Thurman do it. Think about when Keith Thurman had the belts. Keith Thurman, before he became Mr. Inactive, he fought Sean Porter, which was a beautiful fight. Then he stepped right to Danny Garcia and fought Danny Garcia in a close fight. I think Danny Garcia lost that fight by a round. So, I mean, I'm telling you, man, this has probably been the best year of boxing that we ever going to have. You got your boy Deontay Wilder trying to make a fight with Andy Ruiz. I see that being a brutal knockout because Andy Ruiz is very limited. Andy Ruiz got small hands. Yeah, right. Anthony Joshua just can be hit. Anthony Joshua still needs to work on his defense. So that's all that happened in that fight. Hold on 1 second. He said Spence dominated Danny from my eyes. I feel you, man. He said, I'll say this about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia really, truth be told, man, is a good fighter, but maybe not a great one. The thing I love about Danny Garcia, he was losing to Amir Khan and found a way to stop him. He found something. That's the thing. Danny Garcia don't get enough credit for being a true champion. That boy Danny Garcia, man, he gonna make it happen, dude. We need more fighters like, man, and it's the thing. Danny Garcia had no problem stepping right to Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia had no problem stepping right to Errol Spence. Danny Garcia had no problem stepping right to Sean Porter. So that's the thing, man. Everybody want to talk about when somebody lose. It's a fight. It's a fight. Like my aunt used to say all the time, my aunt always say all the time, everybody can't win, son. Everybody can't win. That's why you play the game, because everybody can't win. So don't sit here and play these stupid games that, because somebody lost, it means something bad. Get out of here. Ali lost 5 times. He lost 5 times. The great Muhammad Ali lost 5 times. Arguably, he could have more losses because I thought he lost all 3 fights to Ken Norton. I thought he lost all 3 fights to Kenny Norton. But guess what? He got the credit for those. So what I'm telling you is this. In boxing, we got to give guys credit for going out there and making them fights. People ridicule, talk so bad about Ryan Garcia. You know why your boy BBO picked Ryan Garcia? Is because I like the cut of his jib. I like the fact that he had enough nuts to say, you know what, Tank, you out here running your mouth. I want to fight you now, punk. I'm not waiting. I want you now. I want to fight you right this second. Pause. I want you now. That's what he said. So that's what I'm saying. All your favorite fighters, they don't call nobody out. They don't do that. The only person I ever heard Tank Davis ever call out is Ryan Garcia. And that's because Ryan Garcia kept saying his name, and Ryan Garcia was a big star. Let's not play like he's not. You got Teofimo Lopez up there. You know, everybody ridiculed him for losing to George Camboso. Okay, and then he beat Salvador Martin, and then he beat Josh Taylor. And when he beat Josh Taylor, it's all crickets. It's all crickets. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to give him his credit for being a 2-time lineal champion. They don't want to do none of that. So that's what I'm saying. In boxing, man, we got way too many posers and not enough fighters. But back to this fight, man, with Bud Crawford. And then I'm going to drop the link. Your boy Bud Crawford, man, and Terrence, your boy Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, man, what they're doing is magical. This is what we want in the sport of boxing, guys. This is what we absolutely need and want from our sport. We want the best to fight the best. I remember when Deontay Wilder was beat to death. I mean, he had blood on his ear, blood on his face. I mean, Tyson Fury gave him a nice case of the beats. He gave him a case of the beats, man. He gave him a nice case of the beats. Beat him so bad he started licking his blood. That's how bad he beat him. And what Deontay said, I'll never forget. I'll never forget this as a fight fan. He said, the best must fight the best. It's just that simple. The best must fight the best. He said, is Danny Garcia fighting Lara? I believe so. Danny Garcia, Hall of Fame. That's a tough one, Lanier. I don't know, but I've seen them put lesser guys in the Hall of Fame. So I would say he's a borderliner. He's probably very good. He's like a Phillip Rivers in football where he wasn't great to me, but he's very good. He's very, very good. So I would say he's from the class of very, very good. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you this, man. When you talk about a guy like Danny Garcia, man, I wish more fighters were like that. Like, give you an example. You got Devin Haney getting ready to fight Regis Prograis. Okay, cool. That's a decent fight. But, dude, why won't you fight somebody like Teofimo Lopez? Why don't you call Teofimo Lopez out? See, that's what I'm saying. It's cool when they do it. It's wrong when I do it. You know the rest. The thing is, if you like a fighter, you're not gonna call him out, man. The fact that Devin Haney has a WO belt, and I get Teo did vacated or whatever they said he did, but I'm sure they could fight for that belt. Why wouldn't he take the WO belt and walk right to Teo and say, hey, Teo, I missed you at 135. I'm at 140. Let's fight, baby. Let's make it happen. And see, we don't get that in boxing no more. We don't get it, man. We don't get young guns going up to each other saying, let's fight. Let's make it happen. You get everybody want to be buddy-buddy. Like, one of the things that I kind of have stopped liking about Shakur Shakur want to be so buddy-buddy. Then he want to talk hard. He want to be on the phone talking about, I'm about this, I'm about that. Bro, you're a boxer. You ain't about nothing but going to the gym. That's what you about. You about going to the gym, bro. You ain't about none of that. But yo, I'm going to drop the link, man. It's your boy, BBO Boxing, man. You don't rock it solo, man. I don't know. Whatever happens, man, we going forward, man. We going to make this thing happen, man. Your boy, BBO, man. I'm dedicated to this thing. I love boxing. I love my people. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Don't forget, we got the PS5 giveaway. All you got to do is put your Instagram name, the number 7, in that PS5 giveaway video. You do that. As soon as we get to 2,000 subscribers, we're going to announce the winners. We're going to announce the winner of the PS5. And also, we're going to bless 2 people with a $25 cash check. So this is what we're doing at BBO to say we appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for sticking in there, making it work. We done had a lot of different things going with the channel. You know, as you see, your boy BBO is trying to focus more on the live stream content, trying to do a little interviews. Hey, your boy BBO, man, I'm wearing a lot of hats, man, because I love doing this for you guys. You guys, man, you guys are what I do it for, man. I love each and every one of you guys. And that's what it's all about. Like I said, man, when it comes to this sport of boxing, man, it's the greatest sport there ever was, man. And I love it. I absolutely love this sport. Nothing's changed. I will never stop loving the sport of boxing, man. It's the greatest sport out there. It's the only sport where you can step to a guy and you can tell him, hey, I'm the best. And the guy can say, show me right now, punk. Show me right now. Show me right now. Now, I'll be honest. Your boy BBO's from the inner city. So I like to see people throw fisticuffs. I like to see people go lock up like 2 young bulls and make it happen, because that's how you find out who's who. Who's the best? Who's here to show they the best? You know what? You know why people remember Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson? It's because these guys were willing to fight whoever. Say what you want. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson came around after Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes that kind of cleaned out the division. And he didn't really get like those big, heavyweight division to get. Because let's be honest here, after Ali beat everybody like he did, the heavyweight division pretty much was never the same, if we're being honest. The heavyweight division pretty much wasn't the same until the 90s. And then in the 90s, then you had the emergence of a cruiserweight who came up the heavyweight named the Real Deal Holyfield, who was one of my favorite fighters. The Real Deal Holyfield don't get enough credit. One of my favorite fights, man, is watching him and Big Daddy Bo when they used to go back and forth. See, little things like that, we're not getting that. But now we got a guy who I think is like the real deal, Usyk. Alexander Usyk is like that. Alexander Usyk is a cruiserweight. He came with the heavyweight, and he's giving people major work. And tell me this: how come Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight him? You know why? Because he's not one-dimensional. He's never been a complete fighter. Everybody he beat that what you would say legacy wins would be Vitaly Klitschko, who's either jab, jab, right hand, jab, jab, right hand. That's all he is. And let's be honest here. And Deontay Wilder is my favorite boxer. I have no shame in saying that. All he does is throw that right hand. That's it. That's all he ever does is throw that right hand. And let's be honest. The reason Deontay Wilder couldn't beat a Tyson Fury is because he lacked discipline. At the end of the day, you can blame the gold medalist Mark Breland, who was one of my favorite fighters from back in the day. When he came out the Olympics, Mark Breland was something special. Mark Breland was that dude. So the fact that, he had a Mark Breland there and he wasn't listening, and let's be honest, you know what Deontay Wilder, that applied to Deontay Wilder, I think the same thing is going to happen to Jared Anderson if he doesn't take fight serious. Because I looked at that Charles Martin fight, and that was the first time that your boy, Big Baby, ran into a guy who could hurt him and who really could get him out of there. And I'm telling you, if he was in there with anybody that was elite, they would have got him out of there. And I'm glad that happened to him, because I'm hoping going forward that he can make the adjustments, fix his mistakes, and do what he got to do to win those big fights. And I'm telling you guys, man, people don't understand, man. Boxing, you cannot play this. You have to be about your business. You can't play. You can't joke. This ain't the thing to joke about, because you can really go to sleep in the ring. But just to give you guys some updates, I did hear about Benny Garcia fighting Laura for the 160-pound belt. I believe it's going to be at a catch weight. I think it's going to be at like 155 or something like that. You got your boy Jamel Charlo fighting Canelo Alvarez September 30th. That's going to be a huge fight. And I'm telling you, Canelo is about to go to bed. It's about to be an absolute beatdown. Salute to my man Nick. What he say? Spence gonna knock Bud out. I think he's gonna win by. I think he's gonna win. He's gonna knock you by TK. I think he's gonna win by TK. I think he's gonna just slowly, methodically run Bud into. I think he's gonna run him into something. You think about Marvin Hagler. What did he do to Eddie Tommy Hearns? He ran him into something. And I think that's the same part. I think that's the same thing he's gonna do to Bud Crawford is running into something stupid and put him out of here. So I can't wait to see that. But you know what? The fight that I'm so excited about is Cool Boy Steph versus Monster Inoue. I actually heard a guy tell me on this very show, that Monster Inoue hasn't fought any black fighters, as if that means anything. He said 10th round TKO, they got to throw on the top. I won't say that. I'm going to tell you why I don't say that, Nick, but make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We need you to like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy BBO. If you're watching this on playback, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The reason I say that is because Bud Crawford, man, is a different animal. The thing about Bud is when you hit him or you hurt him, he gets very, very angry. He gets very, very angry. And when he get angry, he turned into a little monster, man. I remember when Mean Machine put Terrence Crawford on the canvas and they didn't count it. And he put him on the canvas. And what did he do? He got up and literally destroyed him. You remember him sitting on the stool and they said, oh, yeah, Sean Porter got you, man. You better do something. You run out of time. He said, oh, he winning? He winning? Man, took the bag off his head and really just went in there. And for the next 2 rounds, slowly just got Sean out of there, running Sean in and stuff. And I'm telling you, man, if you think about Errol Spence, a.k.a. the new Marvin Hagler, man, he's going to run Bud into something, man. And that's what he do, man. That's what he do. And let's be honest, Marvin Hagler didn't always stop everybody. He didn't. He didn't have that one-punch knockout. He was like a black Mexican, just like Errol Spence, and methodically he got guys out of there. So I think the sky's the limit for a guy like Errol Spence, man. The sky's the limit, man. I'm telling you, there's nothing I can see him not doing. I would love to see him versus Canelo Alvarez. I would love to see him versus Jermell Charlo, one of those guys. I mean, because let's be honest here, man, that's what we want to see, the best fight the best. And for me, just for me, I want to see what guys can do, man. Like one of the fights I really enjoyed was watching Caleb Plant versus the Mexican Monster. You know why I enjoyed that fight? Is because I got to see that, hey, you know what? The Mexican Monster can fight, but if he doesn't improve on his defense long term, somebody stronger and more talented than Caleb Plant with a better gas tank will get him out of there. And I think David Morrell will be the guy to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. David Morrell did beat Hapu from The Simpsons to death. I mean, he beat the sleeves off of him. I hadn't really seen a fight like that where he just was in there just beating him. The dude was running from him pretty much, and he was in there punishing him. And I'm telling you, man, I think David Morrell is literally going to look. David Morrell is everything we thought Jermell Charlo was going to be. Big, strong, great jab, tough guy, gritty guy, there to win, there to put on a show. And I tell you this, man, I just can't wait to see David Morrell versus David Benavidez. That's going to be a terrific fight, guys. I'm telling you, man, that's going to be one of those fights you're going to be like, man, you're going to be on the edge of your seat, man. You ain't going to know what to do when you get a chance to see that fight. That's how dope that fight's going to be. I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a terrific fight. And then, of course, everybody want to hate on Canelo, Born Ready Alvarez, and say, oh, he's a cherry pick. How in the world is fighting an undisputed champion that's been calling your name since 154? You guys both started at 154. And let's be honest here. Jermell is a big guy fighting small. He's a big guy fighting small. He's about 6 foot. So, you know, we all know Canelo Alvarez on his best day in heels is 5'6". So let's not play like Canelo is this big guy. He's not boss. Canelo might have fought in some bigger weight classes, but come on, man. At the end of the day, if you get the pictures when Jermell had locks and he was standing with Canelo, man, he looked way taller than Canelo. And I'm not saying height means anything, because Easter Bunny showed you that when he fought Mikey Garcia, that height don't mean everything. But what I'm telling you is, in this case, it might really mean something, because at the end of the day, man, he's stepping to the best fighter, in my humble opinion, in the world. You can't name me a tougher, undisputed process. The winner of the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence is going to have it. But you can't name me a tougher road to undisputed than Jermell Charlo. Man, Jermell beat all those guys. He beat Erickson Lubman, who was a young, terrific fighter. He beat Brandon Rosario. I'll never understand Brandon Rosario. Now he just stay getting knocked out. He's like a human punching bag now. He stay getting beat to death. I don't know what it is. Every time I see him, he got his pajamas on. He always ready to go to bed. So You could take that away from him. He never got to fight Jared Swift Hurd because Jared Swift Hurd always kept getting his head knocked in. He kept wearing his pajamas to the ring. So we didn't get that fight. But I mean, he beat Tony Harrison, who to me, Tony Harrison really hasn't lost a lot of rounds in his boxing career. He didn't got knocked out a bunch. I think he got knocked out by Willie Nelson, got knocked out by Jared Hurd, and he got beat to death by Jamel. So it's a big fight. My man Crown, what's up with you, baby boy?
What's good, bro? Sorry I'm late, man. I was the only coach in the gym today, so I'm hurting.
I see you laid out. But yeah, man, I was just talking about how people want to discredit Canelo Alvarez for taking that Jamel Charlo fight, which I thought is terrific for boxing. What you think about that?
Well, it wasn't his fault, from what I understand. From what I understand, he wanted Jamel. And whatever, he wanted the 60 pounder, the bigger one.
Jamal, yeah.
He wanted Jamal. And Jamal, they say, wasn't mentally ready because, he's been through a lot of divorce and stuff. So the brother was actually the second choice. So he's actually fighting the second choice. It wasn't up to him. But with that being said, if you look at their size, Jamel Charlo is still a lot bigger than Canelo. And I still got him picked to beat Canelo. So
I do too.
Yeah. people can say he's bigger on a little guy all they want. He's about 5 inches taller than Canelo, has a naturally bigger frame, is the naturally bigger man. Everybody forgets Canelo was once a welterweight. So, I mean, he's bulked up a lot. But it's the difference between bulking up to a heavier weight and naturally being a heavier weight. So, again, in my opinion, I think it's factual. If you look at Canelo's career, he's always struggled with guys with quicker feet than him. More athletic guys. Charlo's more athletic than him. He's bigger than him. He's younger than him. I think he's probably stronger than him. So, I mean, Canelo's in a tough fight. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny when people talk about him fighting David Benavidez. I mean, most of us that know boxing know he beats David Benavidez pretty easy. Because, go ahead.
I feel like he avoids David Benavidez, but I don't know why, because I agree with you. I think he beats Benavidez easy. Yeah. I thought Benavidez would beat him prior to seeing Benavidez fight Plant. Plant, I think, exploited Benavidez a little bit. Benavidez ain't who he's been marketed to be. I think he's been the beneficiary of some very good matchmaking. He's a volume puncher, pressure fighter, typical Mexican style, but he's not a very big puncher. And I think Canelo would just be too quick and athletic for him. I think Canelo would give Benavidez a boxing lesson, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he would go. I think Canelo will punish him. I really think he'll punish him. I mean, it'd be a lot like the Austin Trout fight. And you know what's so funny about Canelo? I love when they make this lie up and say, "Oh, Canelo's inexperienced when he fought Floyd." That's all BS because Canelo had 2 belts. Yeah. Yeah, and he had 2 belts. Well, and he was the lineal champion.
I think he was 23, 24 years old, right? So they always say he was too young, right? But I would like to know, when is a man's prime?
I thought it was 21, 22.
Yeah, 24, 25 at the latest. So
yeah.
I mean, when they say 23 too young, all right, well, let's check how old Ray Leonard was in his biggest fight. Let's check how old Floyd was when he fought Diego Corrales. Let's check Mike Tyson had peaked before he was 22. So, I mean, all these people that make excuses for him, he was too young. He was 23 years old with, I think, like close to 50 fights.
Yeah, he had 40 fights. Yeah.
and not only that, Floyd was 36 years old. Yeah. Almost 37. So, I mean.
Yeah, he was old.
I don't care how they tried to slice it. He had like a 14-year age advantage, 13, 14-year age advantage. He was the bigger man. I mean, fresher guy. I don't want to hear none of those excuses when it came to Floyd. He just got beat.
And you know what's funny about that? And it's the thing, and then we're going to move on to something else. When you talk about Floyd fought him at 154. And we all know Floyd had no business as a featherweight to be at 154.
Ever. He fought at 154 twice, and it was just to move up, get a win, and go right back down. I mean, but unfortunately, guys like Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao have changed everybody's perception of the sport. Back in the day, you had guys like Marvin Hagler that ruled their division for 20-plus title defenses and didn't go anywhere. Now everybody's measuring stick is, oh, you got to win in multiple different weight classes. How about just ruling your weight division? Because sometimes some guys change weight classes to avoid smoke, like your boy Devin Haney's about to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we're jaded in what is real and what is not. Like, just because a guy doesn't move up different weight classes doesn't mean he isn't a pound-for-pound fighter. That takes away the whole reason the pound-for-pound rankings were made. The pound-for-pound rankings were made so little guys could get the shine that the heavyweights were getting. Because you can never see a little guy fight a heavyweight. So how do I compare them? I come up with a scale, which is pound.
Yeah.
For pound.
And you know what's funny? It's because people don't know their history. It's because they felt like Sugar Ray Robinson was better than Joe Louis. That's why we have a pound list.
And he's the best fighter ever, to be honest.
Yeah. I would say him, Willie Pep, Muhammad Ali would be up there. People don't know about how great Willie Pep was, man.
No, Willie Pep was tremendous. I don't know if you remember back when Pernell Whitaker got the rematch against Wilfredo, not Rivera. I forget the guy they robbed. His first world title shot, he got robbed, and they fought a rematch. And he completely fought a perfect round against this guy. And when he came back to the corner, Georgie Benton told him, perfect, just perfect. Willie Pep couldn't have done it any better. That's how good Willie Pep was. But the reason I say Sugar Ray Robinson, because Willie Pep was a great boxer. He had no punch. Muhammad Ali got bound great reflexes like Roy Jones. Sugar Ray Robinson embodied everything: athleticism, speed, quickness, movement, ring generalship, and he can knock you out with either hand. That's why I say Ray Robinson, because he had it all.
Yeah, I feel you that. Salute to my man Mark Nash, my brother. What he say? Shaking my head. No. Salute to my man Bruce Gas. What was it? He said Jose Ramirez. That's who it was. Jose Luis Ramirez. Sorry. He said, so people say Devin Haney is pillow-fisted and looked like a skeleton his last 3 fights, but now he's ducking by moving up to 140. Where the killers are now. I'll swear.
Well, hold the thing. Hold on. I was one of the first people that said he should move up when I saw him after the weigh-in for the first George Kambosos fight. The reason why I say he's ducking is because of his own mouth. He came out and said there will not be another 135-pound champion this year. I had no problem making the weight, and that I want Shakur and I want Tank. You can't say that, and then when they come start negotiating to fight you, all of a sudden you're running to fight Regis Prograis. Just so conveniently after Regis Prograis looked bad in his last fight. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, he wet the bed. But this is the thing. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the thing about Devin Haney that get me, man. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, Crown. This guy has a WBO belt, and we know the WBO belt. If you have WBO belt, you can go right to the super champion at 140. Why is he not calling T.O.'s name? He did all this. He's a better fighter than T.O. T.O. got shafted technically T.O. is not on the undisputed list because he got shafted with the whole belt thing. And at the end of the day, why is Devin Haney not being a man stepping to T.O. after T.O.'s greatest performance and technically his biggest win? That lets you know what kind of coward you're dealing with Devin Haney.
Well, in his defense, in that, Teofimo Lopez came out and said he was retired. And we all know that's
he's taking a break. He's taking a break.
Yeah, but he said he's retired. He said he's relinquishing his title. But here's the thing: we know that's a ploy to drive up the price because he's not making no money. But he's not going to get the kind of money he wants either, because he said something like $10 million he wants. Nobody's paying him $10 million. He's not worth that. Now, part of T.O.'s problem is the same problem Devin had. If they can get their fathers to be quiet and they learn how to talk to media more responsibly, they will be more marketable. But again, Devin's problem right now, the reason why people are grading him so harshly, they call him a duck, is because of him and Bill's words. If they don't come out and say they want Tank, they're spending Tank's money, Tank's giving, they ain't ducking no smoke, Shakur's not on the table, all these things they say, that people, we live in a time now where everybody hears what you say because of social media, and they're holding their feet to the fire. So you can't say one thing one day and then say, you know what? I did say these guys won't be champion. I did say I will be the only lightweight champion this year. But all of a sudden, after Regis Prograis has a horrible outing in his last fight, now I just reached the point where I just can't make this weight no more. I need to move up to fight Regis. It doesn't pass the smell test to me.
And remember, Regis got dropped the first round.
Yeah. You never heard him say Regis ain't for that fight. You never heard him say his name before the fight. Now all of a sudden, Regis is the fight he wants. It's too obvious. And I'll tell you what else I seen. I just made a comment on the Rise podcast and social media today on Instagram. I see Coach Calvin training hard for his fight with Coach Bullitt, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we heard Bill Haney talking about how broke Coach Calvin was, and he got punched in the face. Won't nobody punch me in the face? This, that, and the third. How about this, Bill Haney? Instead of doing all this talking about your son, how about you fight the winner of Coach Calvin and Coach Bullitt? Let's see Bill Haney in there with the winner. Let's see what he can do.
You don't want to see him go to bed, man. That's what's going on.
I actually do.
What did he say? Super man Mark Nash. He said, so Shakur Stevenson can move up. Tio can move up. Jamel is moving up, but Haney's a duck. He said Tio said he's retired, and the WO has given Tio a deadline to drop the belts, and Devin has 24 hours that to decide. He said, Bville, you calling him a coward? You bugging, fam. He's undisputed champion. I'll say this. I shouldn't say coward. I'll just say, you know what it is? Him and LeVar Ball, a.k.a. Bill Haney, they are hard to like, man. They talk all this cash money, and they like – it's weird because I don't know if you guys remember Vanilla Ice. When I see Devin Haney, I look at Vanilla Ice, which if you know anything about music, that's a clone of MC Hammer. And I think for some reason, Devin Haney is convinced that he can clone himself out of anybody he want to be. 1 minute he's Jamel Charlo. 1 minute he's Tank Davis. 1 minute he's Floyd Joy Mayweather Jr. I mean, he's just like, I don't know what's up with this guy, man. He need to find an identity, man.
He has a little bit of identity crisis, but I want to answer that if I can.
Go ahead.
Mark Nash TV, you must obviously just want to disagree and not be listening to what I said, because I obviously broke down why I feel he's ducking for moving up. Because of his own words, because of his father's words. They said no one else to be champion at lightweight. They said they not ducking no smoke. They said they stay for Tank. They said they want Shakur. Bob didn't present the fight. These are all their words. So you can't, if he had just came out after the Kambosos fight and said, or after the Lomachenko fight and said, listen, it's too tough to make weight. Because we all know, obviously, he has a tough time making weight. And I don't want to go through this anymore. No one would blame him. But when they opened their mouth and said, we're going to fight Tank Davis. We're going to fight Shakur Stevenson. We the king at lightweight. These guys can't beat us. They don't want to fight. They say everything but let's fight. These are all their words. Mm-hmm. You say that, you got to stand on it. Only way to stand on it is to either make 135 and fight them, or even if he's going to 140, why not go to 140 and call them out? Why not try to fight either one of them as a catchweight? You're not even saying their name. Why not fight Shakur at a catchweight? Why not fight Tank at a catchweight? Why not wait the little 60 days until Tank comes home? I think he only got like 15 days left.
Yeah.
Why not wait that? Why are you all of a sudden jumping at Regis because he looked bad in his last outing? So nobody's being more harsh on Devin than anybody else. All everybody's doing is holding Devin and Bill's feet to the fire. They came out and spoke, and we want to see them stand on what they said.
And you know what I'm going to say, my man Mark Nash, I got nothing but love for you. But give me your chain, man. You sound crazy, bro. You sound crazy, man. I got to take your chain off your neck for you saying that. But it's the thing. He said he's been having a hard. He said it's hard to make 135. Okay, I get it. He said, respectfully, y'all sound biased with the axe to grind against Devin. I think it's funny how anytime you make a critique about a fighter, you got an axe to grind. I don't know Devin Haney, bro. I don't know Bill Haney, and they're actually from a place where I got a lot of family in Oakland. So I want to see him do well. I just know that when I hear Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney, talking about use the brick hand, like, when has Devin Haney ever had a brick hand? When has Devin Haney ever tried to fight like he did against Lomachenko? When did you see him fight like that? Now he said, now your boy want the coaches to fight. What the heck is going on? Now I don't want to see I don't want to see the.
Well, the coaches are already fighting. Bullitt and Coach Calvin are fighting at Copen State August 5th. So that's already happening. But the reason why I threw Bill Haney in there, because wasn't Bill Haney online talking about Coach Calvin getting punched in the face? And he'd never get punched in the face. Those were Bill's words, right? Wasn't Bill on there calling Coach Calvin broke and saying he ain't got no car and all this? Bill Haney said all that, right?
He did.
So my thing is, I'd rather just see the fighters talk. And I have no problems when the fighters talk. But when the trainers start talking, and they talking more than the fighters, then go ahead and move out the way. If you want to be the show, be the show.
Yeah.
Coach Calvin and Coach Bullitt, they put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah,
they talk all this Oakland super gangster stuff. He's disrespected Coach Calvin more times than I can count. All right, put your money where your mouth is and go ahead and throw them gloves on. If not, sit back and let your sun shine.
Hey, and you remember Bill Haney? You remember Bill Haney told Roy Jones what he'd do to him?
All right, but this is his chance to prove it. That's what I'm saying. Bill does all this talking, and now because I said, hey, the other coaches already, they're already fighting. Mm-hmm. And I just suggest, like, why don't you throw your name in the hat? Now I'm picking on Bill. You know what I mean? What was Bill doing when he was talking about how much money Calvin Ford don't have? Yeah. How broke he is. or like I said, during the last fight, when Tank was great fighting in D.C., it was Bill Haney coming out talking about somebody had punched Calvin Ford in the face and nobody will never do that to me. That was Bill that said that, right?
That was Billy with the afro.
Okay, so if nobody will never do that to you, let's see.
Hey, what do you say? He said, salute to my man Mark Nash. Said, bro, you was bashing Haney before the Lomo fight, and you were wrong. I was wrong. Devin Haney got a gift decision. He did. But this is the thing I'll say about that fight. I don't know if after watching that fight a bunch of different times, I don't know. I think Devin won that fight, but I think maybe because Devin's hair was long, Chris Algieri brought that up. It just seemed like Lomo was landing the more impactful shots. So that's just my humble opinion.
Had nothing to do with his hair. Had nothing to do with his hair.
But what I'm saying is when that hair shake, when they see that hair shaking on slow mo, that's what I mean. I don't know if it made it look better, but Lomo was hitting Devin clean. I think that's
my thing. What everybody needs to go back and do their homework and figure out what boxing is judged on. Years ago, when HBO Boxing was on, they used to have what's my guy's name that passed away? May he rest in peace. Who was the older man used to come on their judge? I can't think his name, and I have a picture with him and everything. But he used to come on and give before he would give his score, he would give the criteria for judging: ring generalship, aggression, effective aggression, clean effective punching. Mm-hmm. If you look at the clean effective punching, that's all Lomachenko, and not because of the hair, because of when he hit Devin, he moved Devin, so it was more showy. Look at the fight. Every time there was a big punch landed, a combination landed that really made a significant impact, it was by Lomachenko.
Hey, we'll salute to my man Mike Nash. He said, bro was bashing Devin Haney before the fight. Oh, I read that. He said, people say Haney lost versus Loma and his pillow fisted. Now he's cherry picking regions. Both can't be true. Two things can be true, man. You said Harold Letterman.
Harold Letterman, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He said, who is this dude, BBO? Where's Prize Fighter? I don't know where Prize Fighter is, man. He doing his thing. But this is the thing I'm going to tell you about it, man.
Who is this dude? You talking about me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a boxing junkie with 37 years of experience in the game. That's all. I'm just a former professional fighter, a longtime amateur fighter, a boxing trainer, boxing manager. I've been a boxing promoter. I've been an inspector for the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. I don't know. I'm just a guy that done almost everything in boxing.
Hey, I think he was even one of them camps with Eddie Futch, man. So that's
been in camp with Eddie Futch 2 or 3 times. That's true.
Probably the you could, what's so funny? I had to say this about Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch doesn't get enough credit because I don't think he was the talker on camera that Angie was, but there was nothing like an Eddie Futch fighter, man. They always came prepared. And honestly, I tell you this, if Ken Norton was a bigger name, he beat Ali 3 times. So
yeah,
I think 3 of the 5 losses on Ali's record came from Eddie Futch fighters. So that'll tell you how great Eddie Futch was.
That and that's Marlon Starling?
Yeah.
Okay, It's amazing what he did with Marlon Starling, right?
Yeah.
He broke up with Marlon Starling and went and trained Maurice Blocker to beat Marlon Starling. Mm-hmm. Like what Eddie Futch did was, and then what he did with Riddick Bowe. Rick
Oh,
Moses
brought him
looked
back to
at it as a
life.
quitter coming out of the Olympics. No big promotional contract, not top ranked. Don, nobody wanted him. He goes with Rock Newman, who was a relative unknown promoter. And he hires Eddie Futch. He becomes heavyweight champ of the world. One of the best heavyweights ever at his peak. Eddie Futch is unquestioned, in my opinion, the best boxing trainer ever.
I think Cuss the motto will give him some trouble because, I mean, Cuss just built champion after champion, and what he did late in his life with Mike, I mean, that can't go remiss because if Mike would never went to jail, I'll tell you, Crown. If Mike would never went to jail, man, it's a lot. This could be a lot different for him, and he came out of jail a monster. But I think if you think about Mike Tyson before jail and after jail, it was two Tysons. Because before he went to jail, and he was in jail for 3 years. People got to remember that's not no short time. He was in jail for 3 years. This is Crown Jewel. He said you can't see name. Oh, that's Crown Jewel, Mark. His name is Crown Jewel. But people don't realize Mike Tyson was in jail for 3 years, man.
He was
in a penitentiary. He wasn't in no county, man. He was in the penitentiary. I mean, he said Mike got knocked out before jail. Stop it. I hear you, man. But I'm talking about as far as how he was, man. He was just, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, before he went to jail, Mike was that dude, man.
The reality is this. Nobody stays at their peak forever. Mike's peak just happened to be very early. But at 21, 22 years old, there's not many heavyweights in history that could beat Mike Tyson. It just ain't. Now, like I said, he was like a shooting star. His star only shined really bright for a short period of time, but when it shined, it shined.
What was your pro name, Crown?
Julio Sanchez.
Julio Sanchez. Hey, but I'll tell you something funny, man. I'm starting to think that Errol Spence might be the new Marvin Hagler, man. I don't think people understand that.
I've been saying that since he had 7 or 8 fights.
I mean, if you look at that kind of pressure that he's going to bring to Bud, I don't see Bud surviving that. I really believe this. I could be wrong. I think he's going to do the same thing Marvin did to Tommy and run him into something. He's going to run him right into something and get him out of there. I really do because I just go ahead.
The only difference, Tommy went straight at Marvin recklessly, and I don't think Bud's going to do that. Even though I got Earl picked to win, I think Bud is going to fight smarter than that. He's not going to walk straight to Earl and stand in front of him.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Some fighters, I think, pride themselves on standing in front of you. I know that Terrence tries to do some of that, and people keep saying, "Oh, he might switch hit," but switch hitting only works on another orthodox fighter. That's not something that's going to hurt Errol Spence. For him, it'd be like looking in the mirror, which is difficult. But I'm sure he's better with his left hand than Bud is. I mean, and I'll be honest with you. Go ahead.
Terrence Crawford is a better southpaw than he is orthodox, and if you watch his last 4 or 5 fights, he rarely fights orthodox anymore. And anytime things get hot, he stays southpaw. So don't look to see him as orthodox against Spence a whole lot. Don't look to see him switch hitting because he hasn't been doing it against lesser fighters. He damn sure ain't gonna do it in the toughest fight of his life.
And it's the thing I want to ask you. So if Errol's able to win, does this make him a sure-in for the Hall of Fame? Because I think Bud Crawford is walking right into the Hall of Fame. What do you think?
Earl's there already. He's in the Hall of Fame already.
I don't know how. I can't really say how.
He beat 2 division champion Danny Garcia. He beat Kell Brook, world champion. He beat Ugas, Olympian, world champion. He beat Sean Porter, world champion. He's been the guy in the welterweight division for like 6-7 years now. There's guys in the Hall of Fame with less.
Fair. So I can see that. And see, that's the thing that they always say. People try to say, is Danny Garcia a Hall of Famer? I don't know because I've seen Roberto Duran lose a lot of his big fights, but he did beat Ray. So I don't know.
Danny only lost the bigger guys. He didn't lose any fights at 140.
No.
At 140.
Huh?
He's undefeated at 140. He beat Eric Morales, Amir Khan. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think it's funny because people always try to, give him a hard time because at welterweight, he only lost to Keith Thurman by 1 point. People forget that. He only lost by 1 point.
Some people thought he won. Some people thought he beat Sean Porter too.
I thought he beat Sean Porter. Well, let me ask you this. How come that and because your many years of boxing experience, how come they try to say you gotta take the belt from the champion? It's hard to dominate a guy like Devin Haney. It's hard to dominate a guy like that.
Years ago, that was the thing. You had to take the belt from the champion. But it hasn't been like that for a long time now. Plenty of challengers have won split decisions over champions in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bo won a decision against Holyfield in the first fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that was a gift, man. That was a gift. We all know Evander won that. That was a gift.
The first fight against Bo?
I don't know. I don't know how he got the decision. I thought Holyfield won. That was just me.
No, I didn't. I agree with the decision.
He said, does Haney have a better resume than Tank and Shakur? I don't think he has a better. No, absolutely not. He has probably the weakest resume. He has a weaker resume than Shakur. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember that.
Shakur's a 2-division champion.
Mm-hmm.
Unified. Devin really only beat one champion, and that was George Kambosos, who's arguably the weakest undisputed champion in the history of the sport. Mm-hmm. What other world champion has Devin beat? Oh, Lomachenko now, which was questionable. Who else has he beat?
Yeah, he beat a lot of old guys.
Everybody gets enamored with this undisputed. Like when his father was comparing him to Bernard Hopkins. Bernard won his undisputed in a tournament, one belt at a time. That ain't how Devin got his. Devin went to Australia and fought probably the 5th best lightweight in the world, who just happened to get a gift of undisputed when he fought a sick Teofimo. You got to call a spade a spade.
He said,
Devin done that was so great.
I don't know. He said Linares, JoJo. Man, Linares was kind of long in the tooth at that time. Then he said JoJo, Gamboa. I mean, Gamboa is like the punching bag of the 135-pound division. He's just there for his bills. I mean, the way he got took apart versus Pitbull Cruz, man, that said a lot. All champions. So I respect that.
And Devin couldn't even get him out of there.
Couldn't get him out of there at all. And everybody gets Gamboa. I mean, but you know, Gamboa went what, 11 rounds, 10 rounds with Tank on a torn Achilles. So he did
dropped a few times and dominated. Devin didn't do that.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, Mark Nash. Now, I would say come up here. I don't think you want to come up here, but I would say this, man. Who has a better resume than Teofimo Lopez under 140? I'll wait. Who has a better resume?
Don't sleep on Tank's resume.
You think he got a better resume than Teo?
I don't think y'all remember how respected Pedraza was and the fact that people thought Floyd was setting him up when he fought him. Leo Santa Cruz, although smaller than him, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Knocked him out. Yeah, Mario Barrios was a sturdy, bigger fighter. Knocked him out. I mean, y'all, nobody wants to give Tank credit because of how he beats guys, but that he has a hell of a resume. Go on BoxRec and put their records next to each other. Tank has a hell of a resume.
I would agree with that. I'm just more or less saying people don't get. I don't think people understand that he beat Josh Taylor, who beat everybody at 140. I mean, dominated. I mean, he beat him 10-2. Can I ask you this, man? When have you seen somebody
But this ain't the same Josh Taylor that beat all those other guys.
How is it? He had just got done beating what's that one guy's name? It was controversial, but I can't remember his name. It just slipped
Father Time knocks on our door. And just remember, Josh Taylor relinquished some of his titles to avoid smoke prior to fighting Teo also.
Oh, smoke with okay. So basically what you're saying is because the games the mandatories play, all of a sudden now here you go. I gotta call it what it is, man. You caping up for these guys right now, Kron. You caping up for these guys, man. You can't throw your cape on like that, bro. You can't throw your cape on like that, man. Take the cape off of you, man.
I'm gonna say this. If Devin Haney avoids his mandatory with Shakur, what you gonna say? I mean, are you gonna say it's BS with the mandatories? We got to be the same across the board.
I guess you're right. You said Catterall. That's what it was, Catterall.
We got to be the same across the board. if one guy got to fight his mandatories, or we gonna be all over them, then everybody got to fight their mandatories.
Yeah, I just don't understand why once they in the pursuit of going undisputed, why don't they do what they did with Floyd? Like they backed off and let Floyd fight who he want to fight after he got
different animal. When you
it's because of the money, huh? Oh,
when you're generating hundreds of millions of dollars for everybody in a weekend, they tend to listen to rules. Because guess what? The sanctioning bodies get 3% of that fighter's purse. When that purse is upwards of $20-some million, they tend not to bother him. Because what he can do when he get that big is throw the belt in the trash and keep all his money.
That's for sure. And you know it's funny because they say that Al Haim and the WBA got some type of deal going on where he's like paying 2% or something crazy like that. The same thing with
it's negotiable.
Yeah, so
sanction fees are negotiable, but you gotta have the clout to be able to negotiate with them.
He said that that mandatory has not been ordered yet. Tim Ben Jamel Mando since 2021. Jamel hasn't fought a Mando in 2.5 years. See, that's what I'm saying, man.
Well, he was hurt, wasn't
he? He was hurt, man. Come on, Mark. He was hurt.
You want him to fight with a broken hand?
I guess so, man. I guess so. Hey, but before we get out of here, man, I gotta ask you a question, man. Who do you got winning versus Monster Anyway versus Cool Boy Steph? Who you got winning? I'm
biased because I'm from near Philly, but I'm going with my guy. I'm going with the Philly guy, Steve Fulton. I'm from America, bro. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm rocking with the American, man. I'm staying home. I'm rocking with Cool Boy.
Oh, he said Jamal. My mistake. My mistake. He said Jamal. My mistake.
Okay.
My mistake. He said Jamal hasn't fought. Jamal should have been stripped.
He should have.
They should strip Tyson Fury too, man. The fact that because he don't want to fight a complete fighter, he's going to fight
a non-fighter, a non-boxer.
He's going to beat the life out of Francis Ngannou, man. He's going to beat the life out. A big, stiff bodybuilder like that can't beat Tyson Fury.
Yet people are complaining about 46-year-old Floyd's exhibitions, but the heavyweight champion of the world can fight a non-boxer and not his mandatory.
Yeah. This is the thing about boxing, man. And that's the thing, man. I think Mauricio Sulaiman is just corrupt, man. He's corrupt. He does some good things, but he's not like Jose. His dad didn't do that kind of stuff.
Oh, his dad was worse.
I mean, his dad, I don't know if he was worse, man. His dad just catered to Ali a lot.
His dad was owned by Don King.
Oh, he was owned. Now he was owned. Okay.
Every one of Don King's fighters fought for the WBC. Go back and look it up.
They did.
He could get you ranked number 1 by the WBC with a wink. A friend of mine had a 2.5-year layoff and still stayed in the top 5 of the WBC. He was with Don King. I ain't gonna put his name out there, but a friend of mine did jail time and everything and stayed in the top 5 of the WBC almost the whole time.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a couple questions before we get out of here. So as a fighter, is it hard to work a job and still fight?
Oh, it's extremely hard. That's what I had to do. Shit, it's hard as hell. It's hard as hell.
And on top of that,
your average world-class fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to do stuff like get up, condition in the morning, go back, take a shower, take a nap, watch a movie, go to the boxing gym, go home. Somebody who works, get up, run in the morning, go home, take a shower, go work 8 hours, leave work, go to the gym, leave the gym, come home, deal with your family and life, then get up and do it again the next day. It's a whole nother animal. Like it's tough. It's very tough.
So when they say that cab driver term, that's what that comes from? Them fighting somebody who's working every day? That's where that term comes from?
No. Cab driver comes from them picking a guy that's a cab driver on last minute to come in and give you a win. That's a non-legitimate fight.
Hey, tell us a funny story, man. Tell us a funny story. You got a bunch of these boxing stories, but tell us a funny story for you, man.
Funny story. All right, this ain't gonna be famous guys. This is gonna be local guys. A funny story, guy named Kevin Watts, perennial middleweight contender from my hometown, former UFBA NBF champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy named Mahmoud Ali that was an African champion that moved to America, was traded in our gym. So the first day, they put him in there with Kevin. Kevin beats the hell out of him for about 4 rounds. Our head trainer at the time, Mike Hall, pulls Ali out the ring and tells him he's done for the day. Ali kept asking for one more round. Mike told him no. He won't take his stuff off. He's standing out the room. I'm standing out the ring, seething. You'd have to know Kevin, like a calm, collected guy, turned and looked at Ali and said, Ali. Ali turns to him thinking he's going to tell him, get back in the ring. He says, I'll whoop ye ass. The whole gym went crazy. That's one. Another funny story. German heavyweight, I won't say his name, was fighting in Atlantic City. So everybody that fought in Atlantic City would come to our gym the last week before the fight. Well, they said they wanted another day of sparring, even though it was fight week. Came in and asked if we had anybody. Mike Hall, same trainer, says, I don't have a heavyweight, but I got Kevin. Kevin was a middleweight. They made the mistake of letting Kevin hear the trainer say, don't worry, we'll take it easy on him. The fighter didn't speak English. Midway through the first round, Kevin hit him with a left uppercut to the solar plexus. The fighter turns around, this is a big dude, steps over the top rope, jumps down out the ring, and walks out the gym with his headgear, cup, and gloves on, yelling, hurt, hurt. He didn't even speak English. He walks out the gym yelling, hurt. That's the funniest shit I ever seen in gym.
Hey, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming, man. Hit up with your favorite line as we get out of here, my brother.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks, BVO, for the platform. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.
And we gone.